Hello and welcome to the Federal. January 9, 2023 will go down in history of Tamil Nadu as the day when the state governor and the assembly openly came into conflict. Governor RN Ravi walked out in a huff after his address to the state legislature as there was a disagreement regarding the contents of his speech. This incident comes in the context of a series of disagreements between governors appointed by the BJP and state governments ruled by opposition parties in many states of the country. The latest friction in Chennai gives rise to a number of questions and the future of center-state relations in federal India. To understand what happened and why exactly this could be more a turning point in an already polarized environment, we have with us the Federal's Editor-in-Chief, S. Srinivasan. Welcome, sir. Sir, to begin with, what exactly happened and can you please give us the chronology?
What happened in the assembly is unprecedented in many ways. The whole thing started with governor walking into the assembly, and there was a lot of noise even while he walked in to give address to the assembly. This is a ceremonial one. Whenever the year starts, he makes his first address. The convention is that. Now, when he started reading, the DMK alliance partners, other than DMK, all other alliance partners started making a lot of noise. Their protest was basically over the fact that a few days ago, while addressing a conference, a meeting, the governor said that it's more appropriate to call Tamil Nadu as Tamilagam, and that was the flashpoint, the latest flashpoint, and that's how the alliance partners were raising slogans against him. That's how it started. The governor started his speech making some references in Tamil. He even wanted to read out Avvayar. Avvayar is a Tamil poet. He read out her couplet, which is basically on a progress of a state. But it was all drowned in the noise which was being made by all the people protesting. Some of them walked into the well of the house, and the chief minister was sitting on one side, and the speaker was there, and the governor was addressing, and all this was happening. Now, the address was first read out in English by the governor. Now, what happens is in the convention, after it is read out, it is followed by a Tamil translated version, which is what being read by Appau, the speaker of the assembly. Now, when he started reading in Tamil, by then what happened was, whatever the contents of the governor's address, the chief minister and his cabinet and others had quickly learned what he had spoken in English. So while they got some time, when the address was translated version was being read by Appau in Tamil, and that is when the chief minister got into action. They quickly, with the help of secretarial staff and other cabinet members, perhaps framed a quick response. And this is unprecedented. Normally what happens is, as soon as the governor finishes his address, the session is called off. Because after his address is over, it's followed by a national anthem. And the session is over. Everybody go out after greetings. That's how it ends. But here what happened was, even as Appau finished reading the Tamil version, the chief minister immediately stood up and he wanted to move a resolution. Now, what he did in the resolution is very, very unprecedented. This has never happened in Tamil Nadu Assembly. Though earlier there are some other precedents of the governor going away from the written speech. That has happened. But what has not happened is the chief minister standing there and then moving a resolution saying that whatever is read, instead of that, whatever is tabled, which means the contents of whatever was originally given to the governor, that is to be taken as official and nothing else. And this resolution was passed. Now, the problem here, what happened is that when the whole thing was happening, the governor himself was caught by surprise. He didn't know what has happened because he took some time to understand, because it was all the proceedings then onwards were in Tamil. Meanwhile, he noticed that the leader of opposition, Edapadi, who's a former chief minister, he quietly walked out of the house. He did not say anything. He was followed by O. Pannirselvan. He also walked out. When these two gentlemen walked out of the house, the governor obviously realized something was wrong, and he inquired probably and quickly came to know what was happening, that there is a resolution being moved against what the deviations or whatever happened. Now he immediately stood up and walked out. And this is unprecedented. The governor does not, there's no precedence of governor walking out before the session is declared over and national anthem is played. He just walked out. Now, what is also unprecedented is the speaker allowing an intervention to be made after the governor's address. That's also unprecedented. So a lot of such things have happened, and it has resulted in a slugfest between the governor and the government, which is already at loggerheads.
So you've said that a lot of unprecedented things happen, and just to put things into perspective, it is a convention for the governor to read out the speech given by the state government, just like the president of India does in parliament. So has the spirit of the constitution not been upheld on January 9?
Well, what happens is normally the convention is whatever the prepared text handed over to him by the government is what is read by the head of the state in the case of president, and in the case of governor, the chief minister and his cabinet. Now that is what they're supposed to read. That's a convention. But then there have been deviations in the past. It's not as if the governors have read the whole thing. In the year 1969, there was one such deviation. The governor skipped some of the portions. You know why he skipped? Basically, those portions were, in fact, in a way, critical of him. So he skipped those paras. Because this was his own conduct which was attacked, and therefore he skipped those portions. Okay. Now, when this happened, that time the issue went to the Lok Sabha, and it was discussed threadbare that how did this happen, because it happened for the first time. Then responding to that, the Home Minister, then that time the Congress was in rule, and the Home Minister then said that the constitutional political aspects of the matter, which was all debated in the House. So then the Home Minister said that what is supposed to be the governor's address? It is supposed to be a public declaration of policy that the government wants to follow in the coming year. Now, the address is expected to look into the future and the present of those policies. But the two paragraphs which the governor omitted actually tried to interpret history. And that's how that time the Home Minister had said. But what has happened in this case is something different. There are some paragraphs which were in the original speech and that the governor did not read. Now, what were those paragraphs? What are the contents? Those are interesting. And it's obviously we also, there is a certain other side to the story. So we have also got with us this is an unofficial version, but it's been leaked as source. It's a source-based version. Quoting governor sources, we also received what is their side of the story. So if we go through that, what are the portions which are actually, if we go into the merits of it, what were actually removed? Now, the most crucial point there, which the governor disagreed with the government is, the first is that the law and order in the state was doing very well. Now, according to the governor, it was actually indulging in the praise of DG, whereas the law and order wasn't very good because recently a women police officer was also attacked and she has to be saved by his colleague. There are other such instances, and therefore the governor felt that he won't read that. So the law and order situation, which was excessively it was praising the government. That is one point. The second point was about the foreign direct investment. The state had claimed that it has got the very high foreign direct investment. Now, this is, I'm quoting the unofficial sources of the governor house, which says that Maharashtra and other states got higher FDI. So how would I read it? I mean, in fact, you can say the governor was doing a fast fact checking. So he said that how could the governor read out? That's the second point. Then the third thing which happened was that something which governor introduced was that on January 12, a new scheme was to be launched by the state government. And the state government has only mentioned that a new scheme will be launched. The governor on his own added a line to that, saying that that happens to be Swami Vivekananda's birthday. I'm sure this would not have been anything government would have opposed it, but I think it has got eliminated as a collateral damage. I mean, who would have objected Vivekananda's birthday to be celebrated? Even the MK government wouldn't have. But that was an addition by the governor, which was not there in the original speech. The other thing the governor added was when the government was saying that COVID, the state government managed its COVID very well. The governor added, with the help of the central government. Now, these are the issues on which the two differed. But, there's one more interesting stuff we should know. What are the things which he eliminated, or the paragraphs which he didn't read? And those paragraphs was obviously, when these paragraphs being eliminated, where he thought there is an excessive praise of the government, excessive, it was indulging in self-praise, which governor wouldn't like to read. When these paragraphs had come, in the end, the state government has also mentioned, recalled the contribution of Periyar, Ambedkar, Annadurai, and also about the Dravidian model of development. Now, these things were all eliminated. What is the Dravidian model of development? Basically, Dravidian model of development is that it's not just economic growth. Along with that, the state government is also ensuring social growth. And that's the point which is the core argument of Dravidian parties. So when these things were eliminated, obviously, the government has reacted. Now, the question is whether the government reacted impromptu on its feet. Did he react in the house and the governor while he was reading, or his Tamil translated version was being read quickly? The chief minister got his wits together and gave a response and a kind of checkmate against the governor. Is that or something else? Now, we would come to know all these things in due course. But here I would like to tell you another interesting stuff. The Chief Minister's office says around 5th of this month, the final version was sent to the governor office. And if the governor had any objection, he could have raised that objection then and there, rather than eliminating few paras and inserting few paras. And this is the version of the DMK, their contention. Why did he do that? And the governor, therefore, has crossed his line. But then, again, the sources from the governor's side, which is very curious because this is not a formal statement from the governor. These are, again, source-based. What are they saying? They are saying that, no, that's not true. The governor then and there objected, and to which the state government said, look, it's too late. The document has already gone for printing, and therefore what he could do is, whatever the changes he wants to do, he can either read out and eliminate. And this was agreed upon. This is what the source-based information coming. I mean, what is the truth? Probably we'll come to know maybe in the coming days. But another very interesting stuff I want to tell you before I finish answering this question. It was not just the governor who was caught unawares because of the language issue. And the opposition leaders quickly walked out because when they learned what was happening, EPS and OPS walked out with their supporters. The press was also caught completely unaware. The press was sitting there. The press didn't know what has happened. They came to know only all this when the Congress spokesperson then later stood up and said, how the governor eliminated these issues. That's when the press also learned that there is a deviation from the prepared text. So that's what happened in the House.
So, what will be the implication of the overall degeneration in governor-state relationship? This is actually a bigger problem, as it is not just about Tamil Nadu. States like Kerala, Telangana, and West Bengal are in perpetual confrontation with their governors. So, this is a wider issue about what powers the governors have and whether they are overstepping their lines. So, back to my question: what will be the implication of the overall degeneration in governor-state relationship?
It's a very important question. What is currently happening in this slugfest between the government and the governor? This is not unique to Tamil Nadu. We are seeing the governor of West Bengal, the governor of Kerala, governor of Tamil Nadu, non-BJP ruled states, wherever the governors are, they seem to be in a confrontationist course with their chief ministers. They have on varied, the difference of opinion was on calling of the convening of the assembly, the approval of faculty or vice chancellors to various universities, or what has happened in this case, the address to the assembly. Now, in all these cases, the governors are differing, and it is happening more in non-BJP ruled states, whereas there is an absolute peace with the governors in the BJP ruled states. So obviously, it shows us somewhere that the governors probably in these states are crossing the Lakshman Rekha. Now, what is it the governor is supposed to do? The governor is supposed to safeguard the interest of the Constitution. They are supposed to act as per the Constitution. But there are constitutional experts who perhaps feel and say that the governors, these governors especially, seem to be more interested in safeguarding the interest of the center. That's what they feel. It's not as if governors do not have discretionary powers. They have. Under Article 163(1), I heard it from a constitutional expert saying that they can act on his discretion, but it should be exercised with caution and in a reasonable manner. And that's where the whole problem comes. If the chief minister and the governor think and act in unison, there won't be such a confrontation. I'm sure some of these things could have been ironed out by having a fair discussion. But then this is not the only issue. In the run-up to the assembly session, there have been serious differences in which the governor has acted. If you remember earlier, the DMK government was actually demanded the resignation of Governor RN Ravi because they felt that governor was not forwarding the bill to the president, the NEET bill to the president, which sought exemption for Tamil Nadu students. And there was a slugfest over it. That's when they demanded that the governor should resign and go. So the build-up, and then there are a number of other issues. The Vallur issue came, and then the latest is the name of Tamil Nadu. It should be Tamilagam rather than Tamil Nadu. So these kind of things are also building up. So more than just a constitutional issue, it has also spilled partly into political space. Now, what are the implications of this? That's the question you asked, and I would like to conclude with that. You see, there are about 21 bills which are pending with him for approval. This includes some important bills with online gaming, the appointment of vice chancellors, and university bill. Basically, it's called universities bill that is pending. The number of important legislative work have got stuck. So what happens is when this kind of confrontation happens and there is a serious disagreement with the government and the governor, the legislative process gets hurt, and eventually that will affect the people at large. That's the biggest concern.
Thank you for the input, sir. Viewers, for more on this, log on to thefederal.com, visit our YouTube page, and also follow us on social media. Thank you.